Now turn to the new tariffs in effect for dozens of countries around the world. The new levies of 10% or higher took effect just about 10 hours ago. Now, the president posted this last night, an hour before they took effect. He says the tariffs are hitting countries that have, quote, taken advantage of the U.S. for years, laughing all the way. He also said the only thing that could stop them are, quote, radical left courts. And CBS News White House reporter Aaron Navarro joins us now. Aaron, good to see you. So what else have we heard from the White House since these new tariffs took effect?
Yeah, good morning. A couple things from the economic officials that have kind of been leading the tariff push and these trade talks. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was on MSNBC this morning and said that the administration is projecting $300 billion in new revenue. That's up from the $77 billion collected from tariffs in 2024. That is money that goes to the Treasury and is, of course, worth watching on what the federal government does with that. They've talked about using that to pay down the national deficit, but President Trump has also said and entertained some sort of rebate check from these tariff revenues. You also saw Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick emphasize that companies who make commitments to expand their manufacturing in the U.S., particularly when it comes to semiconductor chips crucial for smartphones and laptops, might not have to pay these tariffs as they, spend time relocating those physical assets and resources to the United States. And on China, Lutnick said that that August 12 deadline that the U.S. has to reach a trade deal between the U.S. and China could be extended by 90 days, showing that the administration is looking to give themselves more time to reach a final trade agreement with the biggest global partner in the globe.
Aaron, I want to circle back to the post that the president put on social media, because the last part of the president's post is really interesting here. It's really striking. Is the president concerned about the legality of the tariff plan?
Yeah, well, we've seen lower court decisions really create legal obstacles for other parts of his agenda, particularly when it comes to cutting government employees en masse, his effort to eliminate birthright citizenship. And there's numerous lawsuits filed by Democratic-led states and small businesses that argue that the president is overstepping his executive power of the Emergency Economic Powers Act by instituting these tariffs, essentially skipping the role of Congress. A federal circuit court is currently hearing arguments on this case, but said in the meantime that these tariffs remain in effect.
Now, I want to change gears here and look ahead to today, something else that we're following. Tell us about this executive order the president will be signing later today that could have a direct impact on people's 401ks.
Yeah, this order calls on the Labor Department to research and issue more guidance to employees and employers on allowing this 401ks and the savings to be invested in other avenues, such as private equity, real estate, or cryptocurrency. There is no rule against, investing your 401k in these sorts of avenues, but this is the first formal steps that could really expand the knowledge and change how people use and utilize their 401ks.
Yeah, another busy day of news coming out of the White House. Aaron Navarro breaking it all down for us. Aaron, we appreciate it. Thank you.